It's the one personality trait that science says is the key to success and happiness.
Research shows people who are high in conscientiousness get better grades in school, commit fewer crimes, have happier marriages and even live longer. So how do you know if you're conscientious, and can it really predict success? Here with more is clinical psychologist Dr. Tim Sharp from the Happiness Institute. Welcome to the show. Nice to have you with us. Let's break it down. How do you know if you're conscientious?
Well, conscientious people tend to be goal-directed, well-organised, thoughtful, and they tend to follow through on their actions. So it's similar to persistence or perseverance, I suppose.
Science says it's the one trait that can grant you success and happiness. What do you think of that?
Look, I agree and disagree, I suppose. There's no doubt it's important. There's actually a lot of research into conscientiousness and a lot of research to support that it is beneficial. But I'm always a little bit careful when they say it's the one thing, the one secret, because I'd say that, yes, this is important, but there are also a number of other factors that are equally important.
How would you measure conscientiousness?
Well, psychologists are very good at measuring all sorts of things. So there are literally a number of very well validated, very reliable tools. So they're basically surveys. They ask people a whole bunch of questions about what they like to do, what they're good at doing, and what they do under certain circumstances. And then by adding up their responses to certain questions, you get a score, a conscientiousness score.
Psychologists also say it's part of the big five. How can you spot it in a person?
Well, again, when you, and we probably all know someone, and we all have a little bit of us in us, so that's when we talk about these big five, which also include agreeableness, extroversion, openness. We all have a little bit of these in us, but someone who's very strong or very high in conscientiousness tends to, again, set goals, follow through and work hard. They tend to be good at, I guess, delayed gratification, so they can do what they have to do to achieve that long-term result rather than just doing the easiest thing today.
Yeah, persistence. Is it the same as persistence?
Well, it is the same, but it's also much more. As I said, it's about knowing, doing the right thing rather than the easiest thing, working towards that long-term goal rather than taking the easier option.
I suppose right now everybody's sitting at home and here on the desk going, I wonder if I've got it.
Right.
And is it in my top five?
Yeah.
Are you born with it? Is this something that you can learn or be taught?
All of the above. So there's no doubt some people are born better at it in a sense. They're a bit more naturally predisposed to conscientiousness, like they might be predisposed to other things or other people might be. But at the same time, the good news is we can actually learn. It's like a skill in a way, and like any other skill, the more you practice it, the better you get, the easier it becomes, the better results. So it is partly something some people are born with, but it's also partly something we can learn or teach.
Yeah, hopefully your mum and dad are teaching you it along the way as well.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. So when it comes to parenting, so going back to the point I made earlier about delayed gratification, this is something that's very important for parenting, is not letting your kid take the easiest option, not allowing them necessarily to give up. I mean, sometimes it's appropriate to give up or stop something, but sometimes we need to encourage our children to persist, to keep going, to achieve that longer-term goal, which isn't always easy. Sometimes it takes blood, sweat and tears, but it'll be worth it, and the lessons they learn will be worth it.
Can ever being a very conscientious person be a liability?
Yeah, look, that's a really good question, because as we've hinted at in this research, it suggests it's a very important personality trait, very important. But I guess anything can have a dark side, and one of the risks, I suppose, to high levels of conscientiousness is possibly lower levels of creativity. I guess they tend to sometimes work in opposite. So I guess one of the risks is persevering, being diligent, working hard, without necessarily being, or maybe losing sight of other options.
I'm not sure whether you'll agree with this, but the research shows people with higher conscientiousness will bring success in both their professional and their personal lives. Is it really that simple?
Again, yes and no. It is undoubtedly a valuable asset. So there's no doubt at all that high levels of conscientiousness, as we've talked about, for all those reasons, again, being goal-directed, and so there's no doubt it's good. But nothing's really that simple. So there are other things that I'd encourage people to work on. Again, I'm always a bit concerned when people say it's the one thing or the secret.
Yeah.
There isn't a secret. We've all got to find our own recipe, I suppose, and that will be one key ingredient, but there'll be others as well.
Good.
Right.
Hard work too, Tim. It's hard work. Work hard in life and you'll get it.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Not you, but everybody.
Oh, I thought you were giving me advice.
Oh, no, Dr. Tim, you're glad for us. Good one, mate. Thanks very much.